Hello, everyone. I wanted to come on and talk about the big crash. I was speaking with one of my nieces about it, and I ended up actually talking to my grandson today as we was just having a conversation. And they both asked me, what is the big crash? And I explained to them, being a counselor, the big crash is the things that really we see drama and all this stuff see playing out today. Is like nobody is stable. And I'm talking about our younger adults. And one of the things that really touched my heart was because I deal with a lot of young people. And when I say young, I'm talking like college age. And I just see they're so lost and they're trying to find their way. And let's be honest, everybody wants to be loved. And I went into the grocery store and I saw this young lady. She had one child in the part of the the things that we push when we go in the grocery store, baskets. One child sitting in the basket, and then she had a baby that was, in a like carrier, car seat. Anyways, she just leaned over on the basket and I asked her, "Are you okay?" And she began to talk to me. She recognized who I was from the place where I work, which is at a college. And she began to cry. And she was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Me and my husband is not together. I stay with his dad. She just kind of telling me this. But I saw the frustration because she was saying, and then he said I could only stay there for a little while until I got somewhere for me and the kids to go. Because her husband, which is his son, was staying there, and then he just left. And it really touched my heart. And I said, when I talked to her, and when I got to the car, I was like, I prayed. I said a prayer. I asked her, did she need anything? Did she need a ride? But she said she had a car. And it's like God, through the Holy Spirit, brought this to my mind. The big crash. Just wait till all of these young ladies come up in their, with the babies, and they really don't have a grasp on life. They really don't. And now in relationships come children. And especially when you marry or you go on with somebody or what have you, we all been young. And I thought about the big crash. What is God saying about the big crash? The drama and stuff that's going on today is going to swallow up the youth tomorrow. Their tomorrows, because they are consuming it with so much drama today in their lives. And then I heard a pastor say, well, all this is going through my mind. I get home and I turn on television. And he said, where are the elders? What are the elders doing to help our youth? And then he said, I'm not saying all elders, but there is enough elders out there who are helping to mislead our youth. Telling young women the best way to get over somebody is to get under somebody. That's totally disrespectful. That's totally off the table. That's totally shouldn't even be being shared with a young woman, because the thing of it is that people, when they love you, they correct you. People, when they love you, they'll tell you the truth about life. When people love you, they want the best for you. And I should not be telling your child nothing that I wouldn't want my child to hear. And so the big crash, when I start putting all this together, this is what God is saying. Not only are their today swallowing up their tomorrows, and as this pastor was saying that I was listening to, that's where all the leaving the kids behind and the kids getting put in the system and mom is getting attached to drugs. And he was just talking about that, and it was all resonating in my mind, like, thank you, Lord, for bringing this to my mind. The big crash is when all of this stuff today swallows up their tomorrow, when they have the kids that they can't support, when they haven't completed their educational goals or stuff that they had in their minds to do when they were even younger than they are now, and then they take to people that pretend that they love them and they get in bad relationships, and then domestic violence escalates. And y'all know, any of us that's been living a while know that this stuff is real. We know that there are good people out there. We know that there are bad people out there. We know that everybody that comes in your life has an agenda. But I go back to what the pastor said that I listened to, Mike Freeman. Where are the elders? He's out of Baltimore. Faith City Central Church out of Baltimore. And he said, where are the elders at? And those who are telling our young people these things that they know going to hurt them down the road. They know, because when you're young and you're going through things and things get overwhelming, I can tell you right now, as a counselor, most young people do not talk to family. They're looking for people outside of there because they feel like they don't want to be embarrassed. They don't want to feel like they are let down. They don't, it's just emotions that they're going through. And in the process, they're constantly losing themselves. And then when the people that they're going through is giving them information that's going to hurt them. You should never tell a young lady the way to get over somebody is to get under somebody. And when I was talking to my grandson and I was sharing that with him, and he was like, no, Grandma, all you doing is creating more problems. You're creating problems for yourself. And he's 21, and he's like, you're creating problems for yourself because you really haven't gotten over the other person that you was with. So why would elders tell young women that? I said, I guess because it's the easiest thing to say. But the realization of it is they will tell somebody else's daughter that, but they won't tell their own that. And that is wrong. That is wrong. And most of the times, I'm not saying just females will be a part of the big crash. It's going to be on both ends. Because sometimes young men are stuck with the kids, and it's not just about having children, having babies out of wedlock, or getting married early and not really understanding it and then just getting out of it, because in today's society, I don't feel like people value marriage like they should. Because that's a promise that you're making it to one another in front of God, even if you have people there. But everybody wants to be loved. But when that love turns into something outside of love, then what? Now what? Because everybody that comes in your life have an agenda. And when the healing is not complete, through any pain, when the healing is not complete, you shouldn't attach yourself to something else, because you're only creating more issues. And then when you do that, most of the times you're left out there by yourself. Where are all those people that was screaming all of this stuff that really didn't even add up to nothing beneficial to you? I tell you where they're at. They're out there with everybody else that was talking about you, helping them to talk about you. And I'm ashamed to say this, that elders are just not elders today. I remember coming up, you get a whooping down the street, and then you get another whipping when you get home, because they was gonna tell your parents what you was down the street doing. Or even if you was being disrespectful, whatever the cause may be, I just feel like we're losing a lost generation. Because, as I was saying, how the gentleman, Pastor Mike out of Baltimore, was saying, where are the elders? Why aren't they stepping? Even if they don't listen to you, you might think they don't listen to you, but they hear you. They hear you. You might just be the one that God put in their path. And you might be the one that they listen to. You might be the one that can penetrate their minds and tell them that this is not the way. Because the big crash, we're going to see, you remember when we had the drug epidemic, and oh my God, children were being just left anywhere. Most of the time, grandparents had to take up the kids and take them into their homes and try to raise them, because the parents had went to the streets for drugs and just all kind of stuff. You know, all kind of stuff that takes place in the streets. That was a big crash then. We're going to have another big crash, because trauma sells. If it bleeds, it leads. And me being an elder, I can truly say, I'm disappointed with some of the elders. Absolutely. Because I have grandkids. I have a granddaughter. I have a grandson. I have nieces and great nieces, and and they got to come up in this world. And you can't never say that what your family isn't doing. You can't never say you don't know everything they're involved in. And my prayer is that if they are on a road that I don't know about, that another elder will catch hold of them and tell them what's right. Would care enough to tell them what's right. Don't do that. Don't let people misuse you like that. Your mind, your body, whatever. Because what the devil gives you today, he gonna take it back tomorrow. But I'm telling y'all, the big crash is gonna come. It is going to come. And many families are not ready. They just not. So I shared this with my grandson. I did. Don't lose your head for a minute. Don't lose your head. Your brains are in it. He said, Grandma, what do you mean by that? Don't lose your head for a minute. Don't lose your head. Your brains are in it. In other words, whatever goals, whatever successes, whatever things that you have been setting forth to do, keep working on those things. Don't put other things in front of it. Those are your goals. Those are your dreams. It's other people's job to give up on you. It's not your job to give up on yourself. People can make things look good to you. People make you think they really there for you. They really on your team for you, with you. They just make it look good. And they know all the while they mean you no good. They just there for a little while. That's those temporary people. Temporary is easy because those people aren't going to be around long. They're going to come in, grab out of your life what they can, and they gone. Long term is hard because those are the people who are going to go through the good, the bad, the sickness, the health, all of that with you. They'll get upset with you, but y'all will work it out. And you get back together and you keep working things out through life. And you build a history. Long term is hard because feelings get hurt sometime. You get let down sometime. But you figure out a way to bring it back together. I'd rather have a hard time long-term relationship than a temporary one that's easy. Because temporary relationships, they're easy, but they're very destructive. And you can lose your mind behind that. Because temporary people, they've got their games down. They're only there to disrupt your life. So don't lose your head just for a minute. Just for the glamour and the glimpse of people, what people offering you. Just because people say they love you don't mean that they love you. How you love me so much and you don't even know me? But everybody wants to be loved, and some people just go for whatever. Especially our young women. And they're getting caught up and entangled because they're the ones that can birth the children. That young lady really touched my heart that I saw in that store. Because she was lost. I gave her my number at my office. I told her, call me. I could probably connect you with some resources that I know of. And us elders, we're going to be held accountable for feeding them this misinformation that we know good and well we shouldn't be telling these young women. We should not be telling them. And that's one of the things I cannot stand when I hear grown women say the way to get over a man is to get under one. That's the craziest thing I ever heard. But I have heard older women say that. To do what? As my grandson say, do what? You're just creating another problem. You just creating another problem. You haven't even forgotten over that other person. Forgotten about that other person. Your heart's still with that person. And he's 21. I don't get it. Maybe y'all can help me out with this one. Because I am so confused. The elders of my day when I was younger are totally different now. I'm really confused about it. Why would you want to tell people that? Why you don't want to tell these young men and these young women that it's a way that you got to live in life if you're trying to be productive? I don't know. Y'all can help me out on that. But the big crash, as I told my niece, is coming. And I don't know if family's really ready for it. Because when it came last time with the big drug epidemic and people were turning to the drugs to try to put Band-Aids on their pains and their hurts. It destroys families. The big crash destroys families because they turn into people that you know that is not who God intended them to be. But the elders got a price to pay because your kids aren't the only kids out here. I don't want to see no young woman or no young man life go down the drain because of something I told them that wasn't right. And they don't have to be a relative of mine. My heart just goes out to them. So I can understand me as a counselor and listening to that pastor. Where are the elders? And I guarantee you, many elders are asking that question. Because there are many out here trying to do the right thing, but there are others who are just sitting around criticizing and then leading them in the wrong direction and don't have heart enough to pray for our young people and try to at least tell them. At least you can lay down in comfort knowing I did what I could. Even if they don't take your advice. Even if they don't, you do the right thing. You tell them. Don't lose your head just for a minute. Don't lose your head. Your brains are in it. All right? Y'all have a wonderful rest of the day.